Give me a coach guard saying that you will hear for the rest of your life.
I try to tell you guys, this league's a bitch. He says it after every game.
Shut up and sit down.
Inside Wisconsin is brought to you by Baycare Clinic, Cobblestone Creek, the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, Mill Home Supper Club, Festival Foods, Capital Credit Union, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, American Family Insurance, Rolltech, and by Miller Lite.
What's up, Wisconsin? From the Inside Wisconsin studios, my name is Trevor Thomas. That is John Anderson out at the Connecticut field office of Inside Wisconsin. What's up, J.A.?
So I'm in Connecticut, but I'm here and I'm wearing this shirt today in honor of the 1-year anniversary of the show.
Okay.
And it is not because I have a huge affinity for Stevens Point, but I can come and I can be on this program and we can talk and I don't have to explain this shirt to anybody. Whereas if I wear this to the shop, they're like, what the hell is Spash? And then I go, well, Stevens Point area, senior high, there it is. So that's why I'm like, this says to me Inside Wisconsin that I can put this on and people are like, oh, Spash, cool, he's down with that. And we can move on. The only other place I can go maybe is the Montreal Canadiens locker room and see Cole Caulfield, and he might get that.
He'll
but
get it.
In Connecticut, they're just like, who are you? But I'm not here. So I wear this today with purpose, with a nod to everyone on Inside Wisconsin, all our viewers who just say, all right, Anderson, he's Wisconsinite. He can be kind of dopey, but we all can. But at least I don't have to explain my shirt.
It is part of who we are. Dopiness and patriotism all go together. Is that the shirt that you're like, how the hell do you have that? Was this the one that you were going to wear where I was like a Spash track and field? No, it gets even better than this.
But I tell you what, when I've had this one and I went on and I found another one for the Florida Gators. I was just at the SEC Championships. And the Florida Gators distance coach is the great runner, Chris Solinsky, who ran at Spash. Right. And was the first non-African to run under 28 minutes in the 10,000. So he was an unbelievable record. Ran too much, kind of ran himself in the ground, but was one of the all-time great runners, not just in Spash, but in United States history. And their jumps coach, a guy named Nick Peterson, is from Nebraska. And so they kind of go back and forth all the time. So I bought Peterson a Spash shirt that says National Honor Society because A, he'll never be in the National Honor Society, but two, so that he could, just walk into a meeting and maybe Solinsky's going to go, where the hell did you get that? I'm waiting to hear where that comes right now. And hopefully we'll have, like, Chris would be a great guest on this show. And if we just did Stevens Point people, he'd be fantastic between Chris or Susie Favor Hamilton or Cole. There's just all kinds of folks down there, but we're not about Spash today proper. We're about what it means. We're back to being all about the Badgers. And even we're going to be, this is how welcoming we can be. We're even going to be nice to a Minnesota guy, which can work under normal circumstances.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Brad Davison, super senior at Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Badger that's been with us since it feels like forever, but it's for sure 2017.
Shut up and sit down.
And here he is, Badgers super senior. We're going with that. Brad Davison, Badger basketball. What's up, Brad? Thanks for being here on Inside Wisconsin.
Appreciate you guys having me on. Excited to be on.
Yeah, super senior. Okay, so a lot of times I knew super seniors, and that was because the dudes, they kept, they had to leave school because their grades weren't great. Then they'd come back, and they'd been there forever, man. When did you show up on campus? Because I feel like it was when Barry Alvarez, the same year Barry arrived to coach.
So I graduated from high school in 2017. That was my graduation class. So it would be the summer of 2017. So only 5 years. A lot of people stay in college for 5 years. I know everyone says I've been here for 9 or 10, but it hasn't been quite that long.
But you're rare. You've been able to play that long, right? Usually you don't get that. So that's a unique situation that you have there.
True that.
Absolutely. I see that. I see myself as very fortunate and kind of as a gift. My goal and my dream growing up was to play college basketball at the highest level. And I feel very fortunate to not only have been able to play for 4 years of eligibility, but also probably one of the very few select people that have been able to play for 5 years of eligibility. So I feel very fortunate in that sense.
Did you do senior day twice? I was trying to find that and couldn't find it. Did you have to do that twice?
Yes, but the COVID senior day was about as plain, and basically we walked out, took a picture with Coach Guard, waved to a few cardboard cutouts, and then we played a scrimmage against Iowa.
and so this year's senior day was a totally different ball game for you. And I love, Brad, that you wear your emotions on your little elbow pad, man. I mean, it's all out there for you. Talk to us about how much senior day, the way it was supposed to go, meant to you here at the end of the season.
You know, it was super special. I always say the wins and losses, the Big Ten titles are great, but what I really am going to remember and cherish are the relationships and the people that I was able, you know, to experience these memories with. So my coaching staff, my teammates, Badger Nation, but also, man, just to have my fiance there on the court, have my parents on the court. Everyone kind of sees the final product on the basketball court in those 40 minutes, but there's a lot of sacrifice and time and care that goes into it to give me that opportunity. So kind of just all these emotions bundled up into that last game. Definitely is an emotional night, but it was so special just to have the people that I love and care about there with me, and, you know, to play in the Kohl Center one last time.
I just want you to know, as the guy making fun of you for being that, I got through college in 4.5 and 2 summers. So I didn't exactly fast track it either when it comes through. You talk about the guys in that relationship. The track team I was on at Missouri, we used to joke. I mean, we had an official chicken and the biscuit was our official snack cracker. We'd pile 25 guys in a room and watch Young and the Restless in a 50 Scott motel in Nebraska. Like what kind of stuff like that? Give me an example of sort of that kind of bonding thing that you guys do. That's not the 40 minutes that I get to see on ESPN when you're playing the game.
Yeah, you know, I think my favorite memory of, you know, this year is actually we played blackjack on road trips. So we have a group of 4: myself, Johnny Davis, Stephen Crowell, and Chris Boat, CV. We get in some heated blackjack matches on all road trips, all plane rides, in the hotel. It's how we kill downtime. We have so much fun. It gets a little heated. We probably take a little bit more risk than we would at a casino, to say, but it's super, super fun. And so that is a good example. But also we always try to do team dinners on off days, and you know, we get the team card to get to go have a nice expensive meal. We always take advantage of those when we get the opportunity. So obviously on the court, in the weight room, those are great for relationships, to strengthen relationships. But, you know, those relationships are developed and started off the court in the summer, in the fall, and then, as we like to say, playing blackjack.
First off, how heated can it be? Like, it's 21. The thing's pretty simple.
It's pretty simple, but we also get a little personal with it. So if whoever's the dealer, it's always their fault. It's always their cheating. It's always they try to do it. And then it breaks into an argument, which obviously they didn't cheat. No one's counting cards, but you just got to make it seem like everyone's against you.
Nobody's dealing off the bottom. Nobody.
Yeah. You got to keep your eye on the dealer. And the rest of our teammates watch to make sure no one's cheating.
But of the group you have there, which one do I want to go to Vegas with?
Well, it depends. Do you want to make money or do you want to be entertained?
No, it's a cash transaction. I'm strictly in it for the dough.
Okay, you probably want to go with me or CV, because we are strictly, we go by the book usually. If you want to be entertained, Johnny's a little bit more of a risk taker.
But 8s and aces, we're splitting, we're good. Then I'm with you.
Yeah, we're splitting. We're by the book. We're hitting on 12. We're staying on 15. Let the dealer bust.
Brad, I watched the YouTube spot, the Big Ten spot that they did about what makes Brad Davison tick. What was it like doing that? That was a great deal.
It was super fun. You know, the Big Ten journey is something that I spent a lot of time watching growing up. Being from Minnesota, I became a big fan of the Big Ten, and I was always watching Big Ten Network. So I really always enjoyed watching the journey, because you obviously get to watch the players play inside the lines. You get to know them as a basketball player, but to have the opportunity to get to know these athletes as the person too is always such a cool opportunity. So to have them there, you know, interviewing my parents and my fiance, being on the boat, fishing with them, just trying to get a little glimpse inside of my life outside of the basketball court was a really special opportunity.
Dave Revson and Mike Hall are good buddies of mine. So if you want to switch, we can get Trevor and I out of here, and we can bring those guys in if you prefer Big Ten Network talent. That's not
No.
Okay.
I'm content. I like this crew too. This is big time.
Because I can get Mike like that. Believe me, I've all but babysit that guy's kid. Hell, I'm old enough. I babysat Mike. You mentioned you're from Minnesota. Tell me about the recruiting process that brought you to Madison.
So Coach Gard was actually the first coach I ever talked to in the recruiting process when I was in 8th grade here on a team camp. And then Coach Krabanoff, who's our head assistant, he was the first coach who ever offered me a scholarship at South Dakota State when I was in 8th grade. So when Coach Crab came over my junior year of high school and those two coaches, joined forces, and the stars kind of aligned for me here at the University of Wisconsin.
What's so romantic about the Big Ten? I mean, I like it, and it's a great. I just wondered what is it about that conference?
I think with me growing up in the Midwest, that was the league that I watched all the time. So, I watched Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Ohio State. Those were the teams that I watched on TV all the time. So therefore, those were kind of the programs and the conference that I really enjoyed watching. And then as I got older, I want to become a coach someday. And I love the brand of the Big Ten. I love the physicality. I love the style of play. I love the diversity of the way the teams play and the programs and the coaches. So I've become a Big Ten guy as I got older as well.
Oh, you're totally a Big Ten guy. First off, you're too smart to coach. So I think you should aim higher.
You sound like Coach Gard.
The other part is this Williams Arena thing that you got to step up to get on the floor. Like, that's crazy. Thank God you didn't go there. That place is that place is messed up. It's like in Vandy, right, where the benches are at the end of the court. Williams Arena is the same way. If I got to stand up to climb stairs to get on the court, I don't have any part with that. Stay at the Kohl Center. You made the right choice.
Right, but we always joke that I'd probably be hurt by now because of the times that I've dove off the floor trying to save a ball or taken a charge and slid off the court because I would have fell off the elevated surface. So probably a good health decision to go to Wisconsin too.
Yeah, so that's where the shoulder issues came from. Now we fully understand that freshman year, right? Diving all over the place in Minnesota. You talked a little bit about it earlier. Did you get a scholarship offered to you in 8th grade?
Yes, from South Dakota State University, Coach Crab and Coach Nagy.
Well, I don't know what you were doing in 8th grade, John, but I certainly wasn't getting offered any free rides anyplace.
Listen,
my goodness.
Until I was 21, the greatest invention ever in college is the lanyard. If I'd have had that when I was in college, that would have saved me so much trouble. As often as I couldn't find my keys and everything else, that's where I was. And that was when I was 21. So I can't even imagine that. At 8th grade, I was worried I was going to get into the high school.
Right. All right, Brad, before we go to break, one more. As you talked about growing up watching the Big Ten and so on, you mentioned in an interview that Wisconsin was the premier program. So take us back to Brad Davison growing up. What was it about Wisconsin that stuck out for you?
I think the thing that sticks out is I was in high school from 2013 to 2017. So that means I was watching the 2014, 2015 Final Four teams and just their ability to not only win games and the system and style they were playing, but I really enjoyed just their style of play and just I'm a big team guy. I'm not really into the whole personal achievement. And so just the way they play with each other, the swing offense, their ability to find guys. It was kind of a different guy every night. They obviously had stars in Frank Kaminsky and Sam Decker, but they had a lot of other guys that, did a lot of things for their team and the style of play. So I grew up I was going through high school in a time where Wisconsin was definitely the elite standard of the Big Ten.
We'll take that. More with Brad Davison, super senior with the Wisconsin Badgers basketball program. It is March. We will get to some of that when we come back. We are Inside Wisconsin.
Inside Wisconsin is brought to you by Baycare Clinic, Cobblestone Creek, the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, Mill Home Supper Club, Festival Foods, Capital Credit Union, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, American Family Insurance, Roll Tech, and by Miller Lite.
Helpful critiques, ideas, great stories, people we should know, the great bar in your town, the fish fry you want to know, the fish boil, anything that you want to reach out to us with. We are happy. We are here. You can be the inputters. We're here to listen.
J.A., I promised to do some homework. I have found out.
Oh, I know what this is. What do you got?
Yeah. How much is it for one of everything at Festival Foods? March Madness put out the spread. I texted a great friend, Frank, over there at Festival Foods, and I said, Frank, March Madness spread. We want one of everything in the store. What is it? So here's the over-under that Frank set.
Hang on.
This is, okay.
Does this include paper goods, cat litter, or is this strictly food?
This is strictly a human edible in the store at Festival Foods.
So we are putting the foods in Festival Foods.
We are literally putting the foods in Festival Foods, and it is the ultimate March Madness spread, one of everything from Festival Foods. Frank says there's 40,000 items at Festival Foods. And he said with an average cost of $3.20, he says the over-under is $128,000. One of everything from Festival Foods.
And is that like counting grapes as one? Not like a whole bundle of grapes?
No, I think it's a bundle.
138?
No, an
like
average cost
eggs or just here's eggs.
128 grand. That is the ultimate March Madness spread from Festival Foods. One of everything, over under 128 grand. Man, I'm coming to that party.
How many carts that's going to take?
I'm not finding that out. We're not doing that.
Yeah, and how many bags?
Yeah, a lot of bags. A lot of the plastic yellow bags that say Festival Foods. Good stuff. All right, shop at Festival Foods for March Madness. In a break with our boy Brad Davison from the Wisconsin Badgers men's basketball team. Inside Wisconsin top 5 list time. And in honor of this being our 26th episode, that puts a cap on our first season of Inside Wisconsin. J.A., I'm curious, for today's top 5 list, what are your top 5 moments from our first season on Inside Wisconsin?
Well, first off, I'm glad we didn't do our top 26 moments because people always do that. Hey, it's 1 year. Let's do our top 12 moments, one for each moment. So I have 5. I don't know where you are on these. The first one, or actually the 5th one as we work our way up.
Yeah, you taught me that in episode 1.
Right, is your episode with the weather guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I say that only because I got to sit back and just watch the show. I was off, which is great, or was in Tokyo or something like that.
Yeah, you were in Tokyo.
But I was able to sit and watch the show. Number 4 is the entire Andy North episode because he's one of my favorite people. He's terrific. As you find out, he's got a little influence within the basketball program and people that might be on this show. So there's just nothing about Andy North that's not great, and having him on early was fantastic.
There was a moment in that episode that was one of the most apple puckering moments for me when I said that he's only had 2 hole-in-ones, and he goes, "Where'd you get that from?" I was like, "Uh-oh."
Right?
Did I piss him off?
So, if he'd won a 3rd U.S. Open, maybe then he'd have a 3rd hole-in-one.
Sure.
Number 3, the problem is I couldn't just pick one. So I'm hoping that we'll find just something. But the entire conversation, there were so many moments within the Gorman Thomas episode that I don't know whether it's Hank Aaron, whether it's talking about County Stadium, whether it's talking about hunting. There's a lot of Gorman Thomas there.
I had a few beers. How about that with Andre the Giant? He saw me. He says, "Oh, little man, come have one. I've been waiting."
And I'm a little sad that there could be so much more Gorman Thomas there that we could use.
We can actually have an episode 2 and talk more about Storm and Sauce.
Yeah, so Gorman Thomas was, like I said, where Andy North was the thing as a whole. Gorman was kind of as a whole, but just I'm not sure which one of those I could pick out of there that just tickled me pink. And as one of the guys that I grew up watching, one of my favorites, that was sort of my okay, of all the guys. Because Andy North is eye-opening, but I've gotten to know him as a friend.
Sure.
Where Gorman Thomas to me is I still have a little kind of 12-year-old starstruck Gorman Thomas. There he is.
That was fun.
Yeah. Number 2, obviously, is when Brian Anderson just decided on the show to announce that he's going to retain and stay with the Brewers.
I never will leave the Brewers, though, as long as they'll have me. Matter of fact, breaking news, I just signed a multi-year extension with the Brewers to stay here. I'm going to have to do fewer games, but I don't want to leave, and as long as they'll have me, I'll stay a part of it.
Yeah, big moment for us. Huge.
Yeah, I'm down with that. So, and then BA was he's funny guy, great storyteller, because that's what he does. That's what baseball is. It's 3 hours of telling a story. And so him just going, well, I guess I can say it here. I've just re-signed with the Brewers.
Yeah,
little limited news. I'm glad to hear. So I have that as one of the top moments on the show.
I probably just realized what your top moment is going to be.
Number 1 is the first show and having Barry Alvarez on.
Mm-hmm.
He was fantastic. That he discussed his retirement and his kind of plans just before was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he and I agree on the placement of Joe Thomas on the all-time great Badger list under him is
Joe Thomas is my number 5.
Is it possible to name 4 players that might have been better than Joe Thomas?
No.
Matt, name 2 players in Wisconsin since you've been there that are better than Joe Thomas.
Can't.
Speaking of good guys, can you name 2 players better than Joe Thomas?
He could arguably the best lineman that's come through here.
Listen, I didn't need the validation of Barry Alvarez to know where Joe Thomas was. I'm pretty sure I was right and you were wrong.
And you've asked
But
every single
Barry
guest
Alvarez on there, and that now we have sort of a running gag. I'm all in. So my top moment, the appearance, the first show of Barry Alvarez, and the fact that Joe Thomas is indeed not the 5th greatest Badger of all time under his watch, is the gift that keeps on giving.
Does it now?
I don't know when this show's going to end, but when it does, those will be my last words. I already know how we're getting off. Right
Joe
there.
Thomas is number 1. Got it. Got the memo.
There you go.
Shut up and sit down.
Back on Inside Wisconsin, more with Brad Davison, who is a Big Ten champion at Wisconsin. You guys were picked lower half of the league. Explain to us how it ended up that you got a trophy and you're all bouncing around on the floor with the Big Ten title.
Yeah, it was crazy. Obviously people didn't have very high expectations for us coming into this year because of the talent and the amount of experience that we lost. And we didn't have a whole lot of experience coming back. But as soon as this summer, when we came back for workouts and, off-season lifts, we knew the talent that we had. We knew the pieces that we had. We didn't exactly know how the pieces would all fit together and what that puzzle would look like. But we knew that we had the talent. And if we got things clicking and got things all put together, we could compete. And we always say that's the standard of our program. The way we play, the style we play, we're built to compete. When we're built to compete to win the Big Ten. So it all worked out. We won a lot of close games, and we continue to get better each and every day. And this is where we are now.
Speaking of bouncing around on the court in a celebratory Big Ten championship moment, you had, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, an awkward embrace with Big Cat from Barstool Sports. Do you know Big Cat? Did he have Brad on his belly for a reason, just for you? Because you wore part of his outfit there for a minute after the whole celebration. What's the scoop there?
Yeah, so Big Cat and we got introduced a couple of years ago when Michigan played at Wisconsin in football, and I actually had the opportunity to show him and the rest of his Barstool buddies around our Camp Randall football facilities. And so I got to give him a tour of the trophy room, the weight room, the practice facilities, Camp Randall. And so that's where kind of our relationship started. And then we just got closer. We got each other's numbers. We text after games every once in a while. And so after we beat Rutgers, I tweeted at him and I said, we'll see you at the Kohl Center Tuesday for the Purdue game. And then behind the scenes, he worked things out and he got to the game. And I was not the mastermind behind the face paint and the basketballs here with the Brad on the chest. But I ended up wearing that all over my jersey. So I don't think I'll be able to wear that jersey the rest of the year, but definitely a pretty legendary moment in the celebration.
What did you think when the ball left Chucky's hand against Purdue? Because I'm not so sure it screamed that's going in when it left his hand.
No. Honestly, personally, I was still in shock that I missed the free throw.
Right.
Because I had a free throw to kind of make it anticlimactic, end the game, make your 2 free throws, Brad, and then you win the game. But I think that game was meant to turn into an instant classic. That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
So you knew Jaden Ivey was going to make that shot because it's March. It always happens. And then Chucky came down, got separation, shot it. And I remember running kind of like with the ball, looking up at the ball as it goes. And then it banked in, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. And then everyone was running down the floor, and I was just kind of in shock, taking it all in. He says he called bank, but there's absolutely no way he called bank.
So I didn't bring up the free throws because we want you to feel this is a safe space, that you're good here. But long as you brought it up then, and now I think everything's free game. How come in the last month, first off, you want to fight everybody at Michigan And then Nebraska crashes into Johnny. At least you guys showed some restraint, but I felt like you wanted to fight those guys too. You guys have been a little edgy here the last few weeks.
I like it.
Oh, it's February. It's March. Now you got to be ready to go. No, but it's go time. You know, you're always going to stand up for your teammates and for your coaches and for your brothers. The Michigan, there's obviously no place for that in sport, and that was obviously a very unfortunate event. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, and thankfully, we all moved on from that. But yeah, the Nebraska one, that was unfortunate too, just kind of after the play. But these things happen in games, so we're not going to spend too much time thinking about it.
There was a lot with that Michigan thing, but my favorite moment, and I mentioned this to you the other night when we met, you were hell-bent on singing Varsity after that thing. Walk us through the melee on the thing. I don't want the details, but man,
yeah,
we're singing Varsity. Hey, we are singing Varsity right now.
Yeah, so I've gotten a lot of flack. Support, whatever you want to say for that. So basically, after it all happened, the teams were getting separated. Michigan was their players were all back inside their locker room, but their coaches were kind of like huddled up on the corner, talking back and forth with different people, and the security guards were trying to kick us, our players and coaches, off of our court and letting Michigan stand on the corner. And I was saying, like, no, you're not going to kick us off our court. Like, kick them off our court. We're going to stay here. We're going to sing Varsity. We're going to do our normal program where we sing Varsity, and then we get to go around and shake all the, the students' hands, the fans' hands, and take pictures. And those are moments and interactions that I really value and cherish. And at that time, I only had two home games left after that. So that was something that I definitely wanted to take a part in. I know everyone in the clip is just, let's sing. But really, it's just kind of the principle of, this is our court. We're going to do things our way, the way that we're supposed to, and they can get off our court.
Yeah.
You rah, Wisconsin. So you have that experience because you're there and you're in a Kohl Center. How much do you enjoy, like, football season when you're not the focus and you're not the athlete and you can go sit in the stands and just be an idiot and scream for those guys?
Oh, I love it. I'm a football guy at heart, so I played quarterback in high school, which I'm sure you guys know from the broadcast. Every game they tell everybody. But I'm a football guy at heart, so I love football. A lot of my best buddies are on the football team. So I love going to football games. I personally don't sit in the student section because I really like to watch it and enjoy it. There's a little too much chaos in the student section. Those people aren't necessarily as in tune with the game. That's what I'll say about that. But so I sit with our recruits or I sit with our coaching staff right there in the first couple rows, and I get to take it all in. So I love nothing better than a fall game day in Madison.
Hey, Brad, really easy. What are the words "on Wisconsin" mean to you, man?
Man, that's a good question. I would just say pride. I think there's a couple of words that come to my mind when I think of on Wisconsin and just Wisconsin in general. I think of pride and privilege. I think our fans, we have a lot of pride, and as a player, you want to have a lot of pride for getting to wear the W each and every day. There it is. And I think of it as a privilege, to represent this university and to wear that jersey and to represent our program, but also just, to step onto that Kohl Center floor and to realize that not only do you represent yourself and your family and friends, but you get the opportunity to represent all the alumni that came before you, the people that wore that jersey, and the boosters that give you the opportunity and support you, and then the fans that, kind of live and breathe, Badger basketball and Badger sports.
Which of those jerseys do you like best? I'm trying to get used to the UW one. I'm not sure I'm sold.
We've wore quite a few jerseys over the last years. My junior year, when we won the Big Ten, we won our last 8 games in a row, won at Assembly Hall to win the Big Ten. We had an alternate uniform. It was the white. It was our home uniform. It was a white. We never lost in it. And so I love winning. And so therefore, that's my favorite jersey I've ever worn here, because I still to this day have not lost the game in that jersey.
It's white. What does it have? Was it just Wisconsin, Badger? What else was on it? I'm trying to picture it.
I think it said Badgers. I'm pretty sure it said Badgers.
Okay.
But it was big time. I don't remember what it said. I just know it won a lot of games.
So right. You.
And since Trevor gave you 2 words on Wisconsin, I'll give you 2. What do these words mean to you? Andy North.
That is my guy. Andy North. He's been He's been one of my, in all seriousness, he's been one of my best friends here at UW ever since I came on campus. You know, I sit with him on the plane rides after games, before practice, after practice. It's awesome to have someone in the program that you can go to talk to about anything. And that's kind of my relationship with Andy. I've gotten really close with him and his family. He's going to be at my wedding in July. You know, the one thing we always say, we're going golfing. He's I don't know if I'm ducking it or if he's ducking it. We haven't got on the golf course yet, but that might just to help my golf pride, hopefully, maybe not playing with him. But, man, he's meant so much to me. And just to have someone that, you know, unconditionally loves you and supports you, and him and his whole family have been terrific to myself and my family.
My guess is if you haven't won 2 U.S. Opens, you're ducking him. That's just my initial appraisal of the situation.
He always says if we're competing, he'll go lefty, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll just stay away from this.
I love that a guy like Andy North takes Brad Davison under his wing. And Brad, here on Inside Wisconsin in our first season, as this is the last episode of our first season, we've had Coach Gard, Coach Bo Ryan, and Coach Dick Bennett. You were 1 year old when he went to the Final Four, but we've had all three of those guys on Inside Wisconsin in our first season. I know how much Coach Gard means to you, but just talk about his mentorship with you. You mentioned this in your speech the other night on senior night.
Yeah, like I said, Coach Gard and I, we've gone back since 8th grade when he was the first coach that I ever talked to, my first interaction with a college coach. And that relationship just continued to grow from there. And it wasn't a normal recruiting relationship where, you know, coaches tell you how good you are and how much they want you. It was, if you want to play at this level, here's are the things that you got to get better at. And as a competitor and as someone that was eager to learn and get better, that struck a chord with me from the very beginning. As this is someone that I would want to play for because, you know, he's not going to butter me up and tell me how good I am, but he's going to push me to become the best that I can be. And that's kind of when our relationship has continued to do as I got to college too. And as I've grown and developed as a player and also kind of worked up the ladder in the program, he's really taken me under his wing as more of a, not really a player-coach relationship, but kind of just as a mentor relationship, as especially over these last couple of years of when you go through different situations, he'll call me into his office or he'll give me a call on the phone and say, hey, here's what I'm dealing with. You sure you want to sit in this seat someday? Or these are my thoughts. What do you think about it? Or here are my options. What are your thoughts? And just to have someone that's willing to include you and to mentor you and to really support you and take you under his wing has meant the world to me because he knows what my goals are and what my aspirations are. And so I can't say enough about how much our relationship has grown over the last 4 years and especially over this last year with this last season. And I'm so thankful for his example and his leadership and just for the opportunity that I've had to learn and grow underneath him. And I know even though our player-coach relationship is hopefully coming to an end here in like 4 or 5 weeks, man, I know that's a relationship I'll have for life.
So we want to coach when we get done with basketball. When are we done with basketball? Because we graduate. I don't know that you can be a grad assistant because you've been there 7 years and there can't be a thing left in the course catalog you haven't taken. Unless I don't know if you know philosophy or a women's study major or something. But what do you see for your basketball after it's done at Wisconsin?
Yes, I have a little different perspective on the game of basketball than some other people in my position. So growing up, I never had the desire to play basketball at the professional level. My goal was always to compete at college basketball at the highest level, and then I wanted to get into coaching. So the professional basketball opportunity has just kind of become an opportunity over the last couple of years because of our team success and my individual success here. So I'm going to keep my hands and heart open to what playing opportunities are there after this year. But my end goal and my passion is still very much in coaching. So
given your thoughts on and approaching how you think of basketball and pro basketball, yes, there's obviously going to be opportunities. How willing are you to kind of chase that? Because some guys go Turkey, Israel, France, Italy, and they'll chase the little ball around the big ball. How far are you willing to go just to see what's out there? Because it seems to me at some point that'd be cool to kind of see the world and play ball too, if you couldn't just get in the league.
Right. Those are the thoughts that I've been wrestling with and thinking about. And I've been trying to keep it to the wayside and just be present in the moment with these guys right here and the opportunities that we have. But it's already March, so I got to start thinking about those more and more. And so those are definitely the conversations that I'm having with my family and my fiance. That's the other thing that I get the opportunities. I get married in July. So these opportunities are not just, and these decisions are not just my decision, but it's both of our decisions. So I'm not exactly sure my view on that yet. I think that's something that I'm going to continue to think about and pray about as the time comes. But the one thing I do know is that, my end goal isn't to make it to the NBA. My end goal is to become a head basketball coach at the highest level. So knowing that also plays a factor into my next year plans as well.
All right, we will wrap it up. Oh, go ahead, John.
No, we're not wrapping it up. We can't.
Okay.
I've got to pursue this because honestly, I'm not watching Keeping Up with the Davisons. I don't know. Tell me more about this gal, because I don't follow People Magazine and all the trends. Who is she? Where'd we find her?
So her name is Tyra Buss, and I outkicked my coverage by a long shot. She's from Southern Illinois. Her dad's whole family is from the Dells area, though, so we kind of claim Wisconsin Dells the second home. But she played basketball at Indiana University. She won't tell you, but I get to brag about her. She's the all-time leading scorer of the Indiana women's basketball program. And then after she graduated, she worked for the Big Ten and did color commentating for a year. And then she got into the coaching ranks and was an assistant coach at Evansville last year and is an assistant coach at Milwaukee this year. Yeah, I outkicked my coverage. That's about as much as I need to say. But we met during COVID and then got to talking and realized we had a lot of the same morals, values, and beliefs and interests. And then one thing led to another. I bought a pretty nice ring, put it on the ring finger, and we get married in 4 months.
Golly, I'm gonna tear up. Just real quick before we go to break, chances that Aaron Rodgers officiates the wedding.
Well, we gotta get Andy North on the phone and see what strings he can pull.
Totally.
Well, here's the thing. I'm a Vikings fan, so
you suck.
I think I'm
That was awesome.
Here's the thing. So Tyra, she's a Packers fan. Their whole family's a Packers fan. They got me an Aaron Rodgers jersey for Christmas this year. You want to know what they told me? It's my playoff jersey because then I can retire my Vikings jersey because they're done for the year.
Well, yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, because if they give you a Kirk Cousins jersey, they'll be like, "This guy, forget it." Do you do the skull? Do you just do the skull cheer and everything like that?
Come on, I'm Vikings through and through.
Dude, you're despicable.
Look, we really loved you until just now. Like Wisconsin, man, you were just the thing. And
let's go to break, and then we'll get a different guest for the last segment.
Appreciate you guys having me. Yeah.
Yep, you've been great.
Inside Wisconsin is brought to you by Baycare Clinic, Cobblestone Creek, the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, Mill Home Supper Club, Festival Foods, Capital Credit Union, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, American Family Insurance, Rolltech, and by Miller Lite.
Helpful critiques, ideas, great stories, people we should know, the great bar in your town, the fish fry you want to know, the fish boil, anything that you want to reach out to us with. We are happy. We are here. You can be the inputters. We're here to listen.
John, I don't suspect that you're a country bumpkin in terms of the old country music scene. However, I think about a country song by my buddy Luke Bryan. Like, we're on first name basis. We're not. It says, "I'm going to sit right here and
his first and last name, but okay.
Yeah, I'm going to sit right here and drink a beer." And of course, it's a Miller Lite. Did you just tell me that you're friends with Darius Rucker? What?
A little bit. Yeah, I've gotten to know him a little bit. He came to. This is kind of a John, Connecticut. He was playing in Connecticut, and my wife's a very big fan of his. And he was in at the station, and I said, "Hey, we're going to your concert." And he goes, "Like, where are you sitting?" I said, "Well, I don't know. We just got tickets." He's like, "Here, you need to come see me." "All right, I'll put your name on the list." So we go, and I put the name on the list as Anderson. Here's a couple of passes. Now we sit up there and we're watching, and my wife said, "That's what these are for. They seem like they should be more. I don't know." So we go explore. We go down an elevator, and sure enough, we come around the corner. They go, yeah, waves us in. And all of a sudden we come through and he's like, dude, we've been waiting for you. And David Nail, by the way, is the guy who is his opening act. David Nail, country singer, went to Mizzou. He's from, for a time. And David's from the Boot Heel. He's down from Kennett, Missouri, a little tiny town where Sheryl Crow's from as well. Sheryl Crow. But also I had a teammate from there. Skip Miller was from Kennett, Missouri. His real name was Horton Watkins Miller III. Damn it, Coach, could you just call me Skip like everybody else? Anyway, so there's all kinds of stuff. But yeah, so I know Darius Rucker a little bit. Like if I could drink beer to country and Western music,
okay,
and then take away the country and Western music, I'm having a good day. Now I'm just drinking Miller Lite.
Me and Miller Lite, nothing playing, specifically not country. I guess that's all we need to understand. It is clearly still winter here in Wisconsin, so make sure to grab a Miller Lite. We suggest watching basketball indoors. Little snow here today. Again, we just cannot get out of this stuff. We're trying. All right, Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Inside Wisconsin to find delivery options near you, or you can pretty much pick Miller Lite up anywhere they sell beer. It is indeed Miller time. Celebrate responsibly, Wisconsin. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. I will have a Miller Lite in my hand and somehow have country music queued up just to see what you do. Yeah. We are back inside Wisconsin. Trevor Thomas, John Anderson, and super senior for the Wisconsin Badgers men's basketball team, Brad Davison. No D. All right, a few for me here, Brad, and then it's lightning round with J.A. I'm curious. Today, we found out that it's a big day in this whole wedding thing, as we talked about in the last segment. It's tuxedo day. You get to pick out your tuxes. So
nice.
Talk us through the plan there, my friend.
1 o'clock, we're going to Men's Warehouse, and I'm going to follow instructions from my fiance and and understand what she thinks will look good in, and I'll say yes, 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 and we'll be on our way.
That's awesome. Last one. We understand that you're a huge fisherman, right? I'm certain that this happened because you guys all have like a million lakes over there in Minnesota or something like that.
They have 10,000. They don't have a million. They've actually counted.
There's a lot.
They have 10,000.
There's 10, and that's it. No more, no less. We put it on your license plates, apparently, 10,000 lakes.
On the head.
Give us your best Wisconsin fishing story, though, because you've been here a minute, too, and I know you go out on Lake Mendota. So give us the fishing tale. Where does it fall here in the state of Wisconsin?
We fish on Lake Mendota. My parents, we bring our fishing boat a couple weekends in the summer, and we fish on Lake Mendota, and we fish for walleye. So my dad grew up in International Falls, and we have a cabin on Rainy Lake on Stop Island, and it is our own little piece of heaven on earth. But Wisconsin fishing story, I'm actually going for this summer, and we always try to bring my teammates on the boat. So we'll bring 3 or 4 teammates with my parents and myself, and we'll teach them how to fish and try to have them catch their first fish. And we brought CV, so Chris Hodges, and Chucky Hepburn on the boat fishing, and they all have wide spectrum of fishing experience, but the funniest one was Chucky Hepburn. He had never held a fishing pole in his life. I don't know if he'd ever been on a boat in his life, and he came with a snapback hat, a couple of his chains, Jordan fishing shoes, jeans, holding a fishing pole, and he caught his first ever fish, and it was one of the funniest experiences of my life, watching him try to hold the fish and get the fish in. But in all seriousness, we've had some great walleye luck on Lake Mendota. My parents are my dad's unreal fishing guide, finding the fish. Then my mom always catches the biggest one. So that's our quality time, our favorite hobby in the Davison household.
That's awesome.
You know how I feel about fishing, Trevor. I'm going to let it go.
I wasn't sure if you were going to take the bait, but
fishing's not a sport. No.
Oh, it's a hobby.
I don't like anything where the other side doesn't know it's playing.
Oh,
and that's how I feel about fishing.
You don't like hunting either?
No. And I'm not morally against it. I'm just saying, like, the fish has no idea. We're having a game, and the fish has no idea he's the opponent. So I'm not.
Well, you're giving them the opportunity.
They don't know though.
To have a meal.
No, but they don't know at the game. When you go over to Mickey's Dairy Bar, you don't anticipate that you're now going to be hooked and taken out of there. So it's not the idea that it's
Fair.
doing you a favor, like I'm feeding you. Well, that's fine. Let's go over to Mickey's and see what happens when they pull me out of here. And now I'm, some guy's throwing me on a boat deck. You shouldn't have got me started on this. Anyway, I'm gonna let it go. By the way, I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna give you this marital advice. This is free. You didn't know you were getting this when you were joining.
Okay.
It's tried and true. So when you get up in the morning, okay, you tell Tyra you love her.
Mm-hmm.
And then at night when you go to bed, just apologize for everything. Just tell her you're sorry. Doesn't matter what happened. Just, I love you in the morning. I'm sorry at night. You'll be fine.
Okay. Deal.
Yeah.
I've already started
Write that
that
down.
practice being engaged. So
Right. There you
We're
go.
good.
And the other thing is, it's don't get caught up. Like, they don't know what your stuff costs and you don't know what their stuff costs. Right. She's going to go $55 for a dozen Titleists. That's stupid. And you're going to go $55 for a throw pillow. What the hell? How are they? So don't get sweat over that. Like, they don't know. Right. How is it that this big a tube of makeup costs this much as my oil change? Doesn't matter. It just does. So, all right, here's my speed round. These are just quick, fire away. First off, I had Packers or Vikings. We're going to let that go because we already know that perhaps that's going to be a reason that I'm going to have to go Krabbenhoff on you, and I don't want to fight. Give me a coach guard saying that you will hear for the rest of your life.
Oh. He finishes every speech with play hard, play smart, play together. And then one of our favorite lines that he always says after just about every game, it's going to be PG-13, a little explicit. He goes, I try to tell you guys, this league's a bitch. He says it after every game, win or lose, if it's competitive, that's his saying, and we all start laughing. And all these seniors before me, we all laugh every time.
Can you do it and sound like him?
Oh,
Is there anybody there who could do the impression of him doing that?
Oh, our whole team does it at different times. We'll say it in the middle of a game. Something will happen. The other team will make a run, and Tyler Wall will look at me and be like, this league's a bitch.
That's fantastic. Give me the best Big Ten road atmosphere.
Mackey Arena. Mackey Arena is, I think, second to none when it comes to atmosphere and just the sound. The way it's like built, it sounds like birds are chirping up top when people make noise, and you're like, what is going on? Like, it's already deafening, and then you just got birds chirping. So that's definitely number one in my book.
By the way, how quiet does it get if you win in there?
Oh, it got very quiet this year. That's for sure. That's the best part of the road venue, when the clock hits 0 and it's crickets.
Give me your go-to order if you're over at Mickey's Dairy Bar.
I'm a scrambler guy, and I can usually finish about 3/4 of it, and then I roll out of Mickey's.
Good. You talked about football. You got basketball. Why don't you play hockey? You're from Minnesota, for the love of geez.
My pops never let me learn how to skate because he didn't want me to play hockey. So from a very young age, I had a basketball in my hand, and I was not allowed on the ice rink.
Okay, favorite athlete, but it can't be a basketball player because I hear LeBron too often.
Tiger Woods. I'm a golfer at heart. I love golf. Nice. I used to schedule my Sundays around watching him in his red shirt go out there and compete to win.
Good. Last movie you saw?
Last movie I saw was Creed 2 right before the Rutgers game. Steven Crow and I watched Creed 2, and it wasn't because we just played Michigan. It's just because it was on the TV.
We'll roll with that.
Yep. Have you ever seen a live badger?
I don't think so.
Okay. Give me a class that you like that you'd take again.
I'm in coaching classes right now that are so much fun. And actually what I get to do for my capstone is make a coaching philosophy or coaching principles handbook, basically, that I would give to an athletic director if I was interviewing for a position. So It's one of the first assignments that I think will actually, follow with me after class, after school.
By the way, don't plagiarize the John Wooden Pyramid. People know what that one is.
Okay, Dale, smart.
Sneak that away.
Marital advice and coaching advice. Noted.
Yeah, well, I'm just the Wooden Pyramid of Success is great. I'm just saying, if you turn that in, people are going to go, I don't know that this is yours. That's what I'm worried about. What teammate do you want to help you take a math test?
Matt Ferris. He's now a financial advisor for Wells Fargo. 100%. He could do my math whenever he wants.
Teammate that had the best car.
Carter Higginbottom, he drives a nice Porsche, and it's macked out black, and he's doing well.
What?
Is that NIL money? What the hell? How'd the hell that come about?
No. That's his mom and dad are pretty
All right.
incredible people, and they do a lot of great things.
Yeah. Plus, and I'd ask you, but it sounds like you'd buy a boat. Best teammate that can dance.
Best teammate that can dance. I'm gonna go with Carter Higginbottom would be up there, but also we'll give Mike Ballard that crown too from 2 years ago.
Good. How about who can cook?
Chris Vogt actually cooks pretty well in this apartment.
Good.
I love to grill. I'll take grill master, but some people don't count that as cooking, but I say that's cooking.
That's
right?
a meal. We're eating at
Okay.
the end of the day. I'm in.
Okay, deal.
I mean this nicely. It has nothing to do with what happened in Michigan, but the teammate you want in a fight.
I would say Coach Crab.
Okay. I was going to allow you pass. Teammate you had who's the biggest slob?
Chucky Hepburn's locker needs to work.
We've only just begun with Chucky.
Yeah.
And then give me the teammate you've had that would have, and your fiance will understand. She'll let you pass it. Who's the best wingman out there?
The best wingman out there would be Tyler Wall.
He's the guy you want.
Yep. He's a good wingman for you.
All right, one more for me here, Brad, and then we'll let you run because I know Tuxes. I mean, you can't be late for that. That's a big deal.
Can't be late for no.
True.
John and I pride ourselves on Inside Wisconsin being all about why the people and not necessarily just what the people. We obviously had to cover your career and so on and so forth, but at the end of your senior night speech, you said something that meant something to me personally, and it said, you know what, guys, the best is yet to come. That's actually what I wear on my wrist. That's what this wristband says right here. It's #yet to come. That's my belief. The best is indeed yet to come. I know that you have a wristband that you wear often as well. Is it John 3 verse 30?
Yeah. So I have a couple wristbands that I always wear. So John 3:30. It's one of my favorite verses. It says, "He must become greater. I must become less." And so this idea that no matter what we're doing as a man of faith is, keep the ultimate aim and your perspective on Jesus and make him as big as you can and make yourself less. So think about him more, think about yourself less. And then that was another thing with that best is yet to come. It's actually a song that just came out that I've been listening to over and over and over again. And the idea of it is when you have faith, you can live a life of expectancy that the best is always yet to come because you follow a Lord that works out all things on your behalf and says he works all things together for the good. And that he has a hope and a future for you and plans to prosper you and not to have you suffer harm. And so this idea that I've been talking with my family about, but also just our teammates, is that we can live a life of expectancy no matter what our circumstances are, no matter what might be going right and what might be going wrong. By faith, we can know and we can dream and we can live in a manner in which the best is always yet to come. So that's just kind of my perspective as we head into March, but also as I head into my future. I truly believe the best is yet to come and that, I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I know it's going to be good because of the author of my story.
Amen. That's I love that because that's actually how you've responded to every single text I've ever sent you. It's I appreciate you. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. And I think people can feel that in this interview today. You really do appreciate it, man. We were grateful to talk to you today.
Thank you very much. I'm thankful for the opportunity.
You're a good man. I appreciate it. Good luck with the basketball. Good luck with the coaching, and good luck with the wedding. That'll be fantastic, boy. Enjoy that day. It'll be fantastic. You don't actually need me to tell you that, but I just want the good wishes for that. Good for you. Fantastic.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Hope to talk again soon.
Shut up and sit down.
So speaking of dog days of winter, we got to keep the dogs warm, John, and we've teamed up with American Family Insurance again. It's called Boots for Kids. Do you remember how many pairs of boots your kids went through when they were young? I mean, a lot, right?
Yeah. It is. Listen, it's imperative, right? And it's as much as you keep the head covered because you don't want to heat. If your feet get cold, you're just cold. When the
Game
feet
over.
feel right, everything. Yeah, it's just absolutely the worst. And my son, so they're just down in Arkansas. They have the worst storm they've had in 10 years. His boots are obviously up here. Luckily, mom and sister were going to visit with him. And you never saw a kid happier in his life to have his boots back.
Get the boots on the feet.
Right. Because I got great shoes, Dad. But not only are they not warm, they're going to get messy in the snow.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and this time of year, especially, kids bust through these things, right? They outgrow them and all that stuff. There's all sorts of different, bits and gloves for kids and hats for kids. With American Family Insurance and Inside Wisconsin, we want to do a boot drive. So Boots for Kids, head to insidewisconsin.com/amfam. Check out a participating agent near you and just pick up an extra set of boots. Take them to the agency or ship them to the agency. Amazon is pretty cool with that these days. But let's just see if, we'll drop them off. They'll put them on the front door. Let's just see if we can make sure that any kid in Wisconsin that needs boots here to get through winter has a pair. Go to insidewisconsin.com/amfam. It is Boots for Kids with our friends at American Family Insurance.
Good chance. Show some humanity. This is a spot, right? We're not on any side of anything. We're not divisive. Just help kids be warm.
Yeah. Keep those dogs warm. Maybe they'll hold on for next season. Anyway, get it done. InsideWisconsin.com/amfam. Boots for Kids. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. I love guys that are salt of the earth guys, and that's who Brad Davison just was. Was he not, J.A.? Salt of the earth.
He is. I like kids. I like at that. Like they're a great player, got a great future, has an idea of kind of what he wants to do and how to go about it. But there's a freshness about him, and I think that's to some people why they cherish or really enjoy college athletics so much, is because you get kids like that. And he mentioned that you get into pros and now it becomes business, and no matter how good you are, it can become sort of jaded and it becomes a job. And I just like kind of the purity of what it is there at that point. And I like to think that, gosh, I was 22 years old once, 23, and it was a great time in my life. And so maybe that's just that I'm jealous when I come through. But what a special kid.
I did not have that head on my shoulders at 22 and 23. I can tell you that much. Good head on his shoulders. It'll be fun to watch his career.
Which, quite frankly, sometimes I'm all right with that. It's okay. I'm like,
Gotta learn.
Sometimes people know what road they want to take, and the road may wind or whatever, but at least they want to know. And sometimes it takes us a while, and we'll just, we'll go here and take a turn here, and we'll take it, and it all ends up. Although sometimes you find yourself, the road takes you from Green Bay to Missouri to Arizona to Connecticut, but we managed to find our way back home. Here we are. So, I'm pleased about that. So usually at the end of this show, we make time for John Wisconsin, which of course is obviously the best part of the show because it's me talking about it.
Right.
What could be better than that? So, but since it's the end of the first year, and I feel like this is your brainchild, and I've just been along for the ride, and you're in the conductor's seat, and I'm just over here shoveling coal to make sure that the train keeps going. I want Trevor Wisconsin. I want a Trevor Wisconsin on his first year on Inside Wisconsin.
Wow. Yeah, it has been surreal. I have to constantly remind myself that we co-host this thing. John,
I talk too much? I get it. Thanks.
No, I'm such a Wisconsin statriot. We talk all the time about this idea of the people, the stories, and the statriotism of America's Dairyland. I mean, it's an honor to do it with you, J.A. This is clearly your profession, and I'm just trying to chase a passion project. But maybe the highlight of, if we're going to call it Trevor Wisconsin from year one, was sitting down and watching the best of episode. You're right. I do have a lot to do with the behind the scenes stuff over here, but sitting down, I didn't touch that show. That completely fell on our producer, Craig. And to sit down and watch that and then see all of the names and the faces that we were able to talk to and hear the stories from the people here in the great state of Wisconsin, that was a very surreal moment for me. So if I had to pick one spot of a highlight, it was that, where it all kind of came together, and it's been humbling. It has been a hell of a year in my personal life, and I could not be more grateful that this thing is completely trucking along, and it's thanks to all of you out there. You're digging this whole story thing. I mean, we try hard not to talk about the statistics, right? It's about the people and their stories, and you out there here in the state of Wisconsin are really digging this. We could not be more grateful, man. Season 2, let's go. It starts next.
That's a wrap.
All right, Wisconsin. Remember to subscribe here on YouTube, like us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. You'll be excited for season 2. We're working hard. There's a whiteboard to my right with a whole list of names that could come to fruition here in season 2 of Inside Wisconsin. I can't believe it's been a year, J.A. Thanks a lot, my friend. Until next time, for John Anderson, Trevor Thomas, as you were, Wisconsin.
Inside Wisconsin is brought to you by Baycare Clinic, Cobblestone Creek, the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, Mill Home Supper Club, Festival Foods, Capital Credit Union, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, American Family Insurance, Roll Tech, and by Miller Lite.
Shut up and sit down.